3 states have filed a federal lawsuit, Arizona, Louisiana, and Missouri, against the Center for Disease Control, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, and the United States Department of Homeland Security. The issue is what's called Title 42.
Immigration is a very market-sensitive phenomenon. It reacts sharply to perceived and real changes in our enforcement policy up here. So the lifting of Title 42, I'm sure that news is circulating right now in Central America. If I'd had my druthers, and I don't, I would have argued, can we lift this perhaps later in the summer when it gets hotter and the numbers do slow down? We're right now in the peak season.
So we've got this border crisis. We had a tool that is handling it, and they're eliminating that tool, and they're eliminating that tool at the worst possible time.
What we have in this particular case is an intersection between the border crisis, the pandemic, and politics. And at the end of the day, the Biden administration will likely choose the most politicized answer possible.
The CDC was at least the agency that was tasked with Title 42, enforced by the Department of Homeland Security. But what is so concerning here is the impact, the numbers of people that will be able to get through the border with a basically, welcome to the United States, come on in. It's a staggering number.
7,000 a day is not sustainable in multiple respects. It overwhelms the communities in Texas, Arizona, that have to absorb this population. It overwhelms Catholic Charities. It overwhelms the Border Patrol and ICE and their ability to keep up with these numbers.
The projections are, CeCe, that this will be, 18,000 a day?
Yes, Border Patrol agents are saying they can't handle 3,000. So 7,000 is ridiculous and 18,000 is unconscionable. There's no way that they can handle that.
The humanitarian crisis here is going to be unbelievable. I mean, it's going to be unreal, folks. And the administration is totally clueless.
This flood does not put the American people or their interests first. So when the CDC says follow the science, that simply means follow the political science, because there is simply no rational reason for changing this rule.
There's not a community in the United States, there's probably not a family in the United States that hasn't been in some way impacted by this. The fentanyl crisis is unbelievable. Where do you think it's coming in from? A lot of it is made in China, comes in through Mexico. The sex trafficking comes in through our southern border, goes right up the interstates, all over the country. Drug trafficking, the same thing. So every family is affected by this. That's the problem here. Everybody's affected, and their solution is to rip off the Band-Aid that's at least keeping the infection out of the cut.
What we're talking about on the southern border is essentially a displacement from foreign countries to the United States of up to 5, perhaps more than 5 million illegals into our country. And with that displacement, we're getting drugs, sex trafficking, homelessness, and human trafficking.
The left wing of the Democratic Party is pushing this. I mean, the hard left, because Menendez is no moderate. I mean, and he's concerned about it. What happens next?
I think they're going to go through with this rescission, and probably the hope here is built on this lawsuit that's brought by the states. I know we're looking into supporting that challenge, but Jay, one other point I'd make on this. This is why, even though the news has left it behind, we continue to push our Freedom of Information Act request with the Department of Homeland Security, because it's not just Title 42. It's also the migrant protection protocols. It's Remain in Mexico. It's all of those programs, Operation Talon, that the Biden administration has walked away from. Cumulatively, Jay, what does that lead to? It leads to another surge on the border.
Every state is starting to become a border state and starting to see this exact problem. Our lawmakers have to confront problems. They need to close the border and recognize if you don't have a border, you don't have a country.
Is there any chance this order is not rescinded?
I think they're committed to it, Jay. I mean, look, they know they're throwing their own senators under the bus. I think they're going to do it anyway. I really do. Real quickly, Jay, think about the adjudication process. Already overwhelmed. Imagine how many years it's going to take once you layer these 100,000 or whatever the number is going to be on top of that.
Policies have consequences. We say elections have consequences, and the consequences of those elections are policies. And these policies are having real consequences, and we're about to see a surge in numbers that, look, no country could handle 540,000 a month. I mean, think about that for a minute. 540,000 a month?